go. Clicking this. Clicking select all. Clicking this little button and clicking only speak.
Years ago in the valley far, far away from which we reside now, a man and a woman stood together with hatred in their eyes. Hatred that they never thought would bring them so close together. The purpose of their hatred, of course, was not mutual, not at all. The man on one hand hated the woman because she always smelled horrible. The woman on the other hand hated the man because he hated that she always smelled horrible. Their names were Horribly Smelly Nelly and Eric. Horribly Smelly Nelly sometimes just went by Nelly, but that was only sometimes. I digress. The moral of the story is that hate brings very unlikely pairs together, and love your pets and your belongings unconditionally. It is here that our story takes PL. Eric and very smelly Nelly were once a happy couple who lived in a small house in the city with a dog, a possum, and a hairless hedgehog named Nelson. Really bad smelly Nelly used to collect red buttons in her back pocket. She would always have to transport the buttons between pockets every time she changed her pants. This was significant to the plot, but you'll find out why as the story progresses. Eric was a short man. He was about half the height of ridiculously smelly belly. He had a long beard that reached to his testicles and hair that did not reach his ears. He was actually only 18 years old at this point in the story, but is often confused for a 32-year-old man sometimes. This, among many other aspects of Eric's being, was something that the foully smelly Nelly hated about Eric. Eric liked to use hair products for the little amount of hair out of his head and the lot amount of hair from his face. It all smelled wonderful of peaches and mangoes and watermelons and occasionally sandalwood, which bad stench of Nelly not mind. Cassandra was pretty great. Cassandra was one of the many names that Eric had made for sandalwood. This is not important to the plot. One day while Eric and rotten smelling Nelly were on a walk to the movies, they came upon a box. Now this box was not like any other box they seen before. Somehow geometrically this box was part of perfection. It floated 3 inches exactly from the ground and had a slight turn to it. It was pure black and absorbed the lights around it and had a noise coming from it that sounded vaguely of pop music. Ridiculously bad fucking smelling Nelly, just that she needed to put this box in her purse immediately. Of course Eric disagreed with this idea, as he explained to God awful smelling no that how in the world are they going to fit all of their popcorn, snacks and razor blades in her purse to get into the movies if they had that giant box in it. Nully smelling Nelly argued that there was something mystical about her new box friend. It had to be kept warm by only her purse and only her purse, not anyone else's purse. This is not important to the plot or else. Well, Eric held up his own purse inside for real. This is a perfectly normal person that would keep that box safe. It even fits the box if we try hard enough. What the heck, grotesque smelling Nelly. This is why I filed for divorce 2 months ago, but what you do get through to the garbage, so they put the box in rank smelling Nelly's purse. Nelly, who as per usual smelled like fucking garbage on fire, was completely appalled by Eric's response, as she thought her 2-inch beige handbag would be the perfect host for her new black box friend. Not Eric's box shape, but that would have fitted perfectly. Nelly defended her argument, claiming the box was a sentient being and they were communicating on a telepathic level in the box want to be in her person. With that Eric agreed and they kept going the box in foul smelling Kelly's purse and nothing in Eric's box shaped purse. On their way inside the movie theater, Nelly, who smelled awful especially today, looked at Eric and said, "We aren't married, we were never married, why would we get a divorce?" Then they went into the movie theater, found a spot dead center front row and laid on the ground. You see, this was a ritual of theirs every single Sunday. They did this every single Sunday since they had gotten married. The atmosphere was different this Sunday, not because of the box, but because Nelly smelled so much worse that the whole movie theater was complaining and in tears. This was not the reason that everyone in the movie theater left, however. The reason was much more drastic. The reason of which every person left the theater was because the entire time the theater had been closed. The theater is never open on Sunday. It is always the ritual to go to the closed theater on Sunday to watch 8 Mile, or rather read the script of 8 Mile to each other in the dark. Today the sentiment box in more than usually smelly Nelly's purse gave off a faint glow. Little allowed the pair to read the script in a new light. This new light revealed that all along the story was not about Marshall Mathers. It was about the being that would later be reincarnated as Jadam Smith. This revelation was not very surprising to these two, as deep inside they always thought this had to have been the truth, because Marshall Mathers was just so stupid and Jadam Smith was just so great. Halfway through reading the script of 8 Mile, but before they were interrupted by the staff who were working at the movie theater, the sentiment black box who had crept out of Nelly's purse, which also smelled bad, explained to them all both that Jadam Smith was its distant but close relative. The excitement within the couple's eyes was absent as this news was broken to them by the 17th box. Shitty smelly Nelly got so angry at this monstrosity that she took the sentient box and shoved it into Eric's purse, knowing it is not what the box had asked for. Nelly the stank yelled at Eric to go fuck himself. She had had it with this day, she had had it with this box, and she had had it with this life. She walked out of the dark theater and waited for a taxi that would not come in me dirty dusty road. After a few moments, Eric decided to follow his wife and found her standing in the road thrashing about and screaming about why no taxis were coming. Eric, however, did not follow thanks Mel now because of his own will. He had followed her because the box whispered in his ear and told him it was the right thing to do also. The box told him that it would probably be best if he pushed her in front of the first car to come. Eric disagreed, but in a way he felt it would probably be the best option for him since he was only 19 and he didn't like his wife home or the box. In an instant the taxi cab came out of nowhere zooming through the dusty road. Eric pushed his foul-smelling wife into the road where she was hit violently by the taxi and presumed instantly dead. He knew she was dead by the amount of red that poured from her pants. No way, that was the buttons from her back pocket. Oh no, my buttons, screamed not very decently smelly Nelly as she grappled for the buttons that surrounded her in the dusty road. Eric was not amused. This long tale ended abruptly because the taxi driver stopped and got out of his taxi only to reveal that he was Michael Keaton wearing a lion costume that was only from the waist up. Michael Keaton smiled diabolically, grabbed the two individuals, threw them inside of his taxi and drove them to a valley far away and left them there with only a bin. The sentiment box that had been left behind in the road in Eric's purse had become accustomed to counting and organizing the red buttons on the road. No one ever noticed it was there, as this was a no-trespassing zone in the middle of Arkansas, and the end.